This is the Flathead Valley Sports Haven, a new segment where I highlight current and former Flathead Valley area players, coaches, and sports figures celebrating the best athletics our valley has to offer. The Flathead Valley Sports Haven is powered by Logan Health. I'm your host, Cole Havens, and today in studio I am joined by head coach of the Whitefish High School girls basketball team, Bob Bolam. Coach, first of all, thanks for taking the time and joining me here today.
Sure, Cole. Thanks for having me in.
Well, let's go ahead and get started off here. Let's talk about just you in general here a little bit. Obviously, I know you came to the Valley several years ago. You've been coaching for basically however long I can find. But let's start off with, did you play basketball growing up? Where does the game kind of fit into your early life? How'd you get into basketball?
Yeah, I played basketball from time I was a little kid, wearing my Chuck Taylors, coming out there late 60s, early 70s when I got started. Yeah, I'm that old. So basketball's been a part of my life, just playing it ever since then. I played in junior high. I played in high school. Did intramural basketball in college because, got to do something besides study. And then after that, I took it a few years after college when I was out of high school coaching to get into basketball. But once I did, which was in the late 80s, I've been coaching ever since.
Now, did you play anywhere collegiately? Did you play a college sport, or was it right into coaching right after high school?
Yeah, in high school I knew I wanted to coach, and so I figured, the easiest way to do that was, get into education, physical education major. I went to Western Washington University in Bellingham, Washington. Played 2 years of baseball there before they cut the sport out. So as a freshman and sophomore, I played baseball, and it was a good time. After that, I just stayed and got my degree and focused on that until that was over. And from there on, I just went through the process.
How did being a college athlete at all, did that help maybe shape who you became as a coach, being able to see coaching at the next level and kind of see what it takes and what they're looking for?
Yeah, it's a different atmosphere, coaching in college. It's just a lot more for them to do, a lot more to for them to get around. I saw that it was, a full-time, full-year thing to do. You're, in the winter, you're in the gym working on hitting in the cage and fielding. And, in the fall when you could, get outside and play some inter-squad games. And then in the spring playing. And so it was, you learn that it takes time, it takes commitment, and you got to put into it if you want to get out of it. So.
Now, you said you always knew that you wanted to be a coach. At what point did you know that, hey, this is going to be my career? When was that first coaching job that you knew, okay, here's my in?
Well, I did in getting my education degree, I had to do 1 quarter of student teaching. I did that at Mount Rainier High School in Des Moines, Washington, which is right near SeaTac Airport. So my first coaching job was while I was student teaching. I was the JV girls softball coach, slow pitch back then. So I was doing those things, and it just kind of snowballed from there. I mean, I love sports, did it all my life, watched it, played it, all the different sports. And so I just, got in. It was nice to get a foot in the door. I was at that high school for many years.
So was it basketball that you knew you always wanted to coach, or did you just want to be a coach? I mean, playing baseball, you probably had affinity for baseball.
Yeah, I just knew I wanted to coach. I mean, I started out in softball. I did coach some baseball at my old high school for 3 years or so, 4 years, before I got back out of that and coached some more varsity softball, which was fun to, get that program going. But in between, I was coaching football. I started coaching football in the fall of 1984. Did a lot of football. So I didn't know for sure where I was going to be at. I didn't start coaching basketball till 87, 88, just being a JV coach. And I did that for 15 years. So just going along through the process, didn't know where I was going to be or how it would end up. Finally, in 2002, a head coach stepped down for basketball. I'd still been there under probably 3 other coaches at that time, my 15 years. But coaching so many sports, I wasn't ready to be a head coach. But by that time, I had 3 kids and time to be a little bit slower. So that job opened up and I got it. And that's where I started being head coach.
I was going to say, you've been, basically coaching basketball for, 30-something years?
Yeah,
A long time to be doing it. You started out in Washington Mount Rainier High School, and you were pretty successful there based on everything I saw. Went to a bunch of state tournaments, a bunch of top places and everything. What was coaching there like for you? How did that kind of shape who you became?
Yeah, I mean, it was good, and it was also a challenge. My first year, 2002, we were coming off a team that had some good athletes left on it. Our best player had graduated the year before. We missed out on going to state by a game. But my first year, I was lucky enough to, we got into a loser-out game, and we won to go to state. So it was the first time that Mount Rainier had gone to state since 1979. So it was an accomplishment. Everyone was jacked up about it. We had lost both games at state. We're out really quick, but just making it and going through the experience was good for the program and all the girls. Took a while to get back, but when we got back, we did some good things in my last 5 years of coaching. So there was a 6-year gap or so in there. We still had successful teams, did some good stuff, but basketball in Washington and the Seattle area is pretty competitive and tough. So.
Obviously, I got to imagine those stand out, but when you think back to those days, is there a team or a player that immediately just comes to your head as that year was just different, or that player was just different?
Well, that's an easy one because I was fortunate enough to have a girl named Brittany McPhee, along with her twin sister, that came along, and those two girls in 4 years we won 101 games and lost 15. So they were really good players. In fact, Brittany was the state of Washington Gatorade Player of the Year as a sophomore, junior, and senior. Ended up going to Stanford, by the time she was a senior, being at a high Pac-12 level at that time. So she was a really good player. Scored over 2,000 points in her career, over 1,000 rebounds, 400 assists or so, really good defender. Just to go to Stanford, you got to be pretty good. So
got to be pretty smart too.
Yeah, and that too. So, so those girls, we won. Their sophomore year, we finished third in state, lost in the semifinals by 1. Their junior year, we finished third in state, lost in the semifinals by 2. We were 27-2 both of those years. Their senior year, we made it to the state championship finally, lost to Gonzaga Prep by 2 right at the end of the game. So we had a lot of success in those years. We had 5 years in a row where we went to state. So we were good before they got there. But, yeah, there's a player that stands out that, undeniably was one of the best players ever to play in the state of Washington. So I was lucky enough to coach her.
That's awesome. So those years obviously stand out. Is there maybe a different year that maybe just stands out as like that year was just really fun, or we accomplished maybe more than we thought we were going to type of thing?
Yeah, I don't know that there's maybe our second year. We had higher expectations, though, after coming off of state. We actually had a better year. We went to state. We were lucky enough to get in there. We only finished like 16-10, but we were just, the way things work, you get in there. And our next year, we ended up 21-4, but we didn't make it to state because we just got upset in a loser-out game. But 3 of our 4 losses was to the same team. So it kind of was a weird year for that. And that kind of stood out because that year, the team we lost to had been perennial champions in our league. We were tied, or actually a game behind them. Our only loss that year was to them. We went to their home court last game of the year and upset them. They had been riding a 72-game win streak.
Wow.
So we upset them on their home court to tie them for first place for the league. We both had 1 loss, and out there we played them off, ties. So we played them again in a couple days, ended up losing. But that was a tough one. And then we lost to them again somewhere in the state playoffs. So, yeah, it was tough for having that. But, that victory there alone and being at that pinnacle of success was really nice.
That has to be surreal to beat a team that's on a streak. Like, that's got to be something that's seared into your brain.
Yeah, it was. I don't think anybody thought it would happen. We lost them by about 12 on our home court earlier in the season, but we had gotten better. We had some young kids, and we devised a plan, and the girls set out and made it work. And upsets are always nice. They're more fun than winning other games. So especially when it's a team like that you can upset. So.
Well, and then take me through, you moved to Whitefish in, it looks like, 2016, started coaching varsity girls about 2018. Take me through the move to Whitefish. Why Whitefish of all places? What drew you here to Montana?
Well, a couple things. Way back in the day, my aunt and uncle moved to Seeley Lake. They used to live next door to us out in Federal Way, Washington. Huh. They moved to Seeley Lake. And then my older brother, kind of a troublemaker kid, got shoved out here to go to school. So my older brother actually graduated from Seeley Lake High School. Okay. So that was part of the deal. We used to come out here a lot. So I knew the area, at least that part. But then I met my wife, the former Katie Doyle, who was a 1984 graduate of Whitefish High School. So her dad and her brother lived out here, and we always knew someday we'd probably retire out here. So back in 2016, that move happened. I retired from my job. We moved out here. She actually flew back and forth for a year and a half to do some work. That all worked out, and then she settled in. But, yeah, I got out here. I wasn't looking to head coach and stuff. I just wanted to be part of a program and stick with, I wasn't working. I was retired. She was from Whitefish. So Whitefish had a couple basketball job openings for girls basketball, that's all I've done. Coach girls, haven't coached boys basketball. So I applied and got on as a freshman coach. And 2 years of that, and then the last 7 or whatever, I've been the varsity coach.
So almost coaching for, I guess, this winter would be basically a full decade of coaching Whitefish athletics. Take me through your time here so far. What's these last 10 years been like? Obviously, I know the 21 years got to be one that stands out. Yeah, I mean, at first it's challenging. Basketball just wasn't big on the radar for Whitefish kids. And, it's been a challenge for that through the years of getting kids that wanted to be basketball players. And we got some good kids, but basketball wasn't their first sport. They were soccer players or volleyball players or track athletes because Whitefish was good in those things. Always have been.
Yeah, so getting them out to play basketball and play in the summer and do some stuff like that, it's been a challenge. But, we've weathered that storm. We haven't always been totally competitive, but not at a point where we were just, listless and not very good. So at least there was some hope there. But, yeah, we did have, that 2021, the year of the mask, COVID, wearing masks all season, on the bench, coaching in a mask, that difficult situation. But that group, we got a couple transfers in that came back. Ashton Ramsey had played as a freshman at Whitefish and moved away and came back as a senior. And Brooke Smith, who left from middle school and went to Florida and came back as a senior, and put those two together with the group we had, and a successful team. We finished second in the league, and then we beat Browning to get to the state playoffs for the first time in a while. And then, had some success at state where we beat Ronan, and then our first and only win against Columbia Falls. Then we lost to Hardin, but ended up fourth in state during that year. So, so that was a really fun ride, a really fun way to go. And he thought the program was going up and looking good, and then the next year we get 16 girls turn out. It was like, that's Whitefish basketball in a nutshell. So, so it's been crazy, but, now we've got some kids that have played a lot of basketball and want to play basketball, and it just shows. The same thing happened to me in Washington at Mount Rainier. When we finally got kids that were really basketball players, you can do a lot more with them, and our fortunes changed there, and hopefully in the next few years, including this one, our fortunes will change here.
You're listening to the Flathead Valley Sports Haven, and we'll be back after this quick timeout powered by Logan Health.
Is pain or weakness holding you back? When the pain cramps your lifestyle, consider joint replacement. At Logan Health Orthopedics, their total joint program provides proper education, support, and guidance during your journey. Orthopedic nurse navigators walk you through the entire process, from decision to recovery. Their surgeons use the latest technology to get you back to activity quickly with less pain and fewer restrictions. Visit logan.org/ortho to learn more. Get back to what you love with Logan Health Orthopedics.
Back from the break on the Flathead Valley Sports Haven as we continue along with head coach of the Whitefish girls basketball team, Bob Bolam. Talk to me about this year's group a little bit now that we're getting right into it, because I've only seen a couple of games so far. It's early, but this group feels different. I'm not putting down what previous year's teams have done, because there's been some stellar girls we've seen over the last few years, but there's something about this year's team that they look a little different. They feel a little bit different. It has a different... I think hope it was a good word that you used, because this year feels like it has the makings of could be something, whether it's the start of something good or who knows, maybe you go and shock the world.
Yeah, I mean, you never know for sure. I mean, we got some, we have some sophomores this year that played a lot last year as freshmen, so they got a lot of good experience. And we've had some freshmen this year that, played a lot of basketball also. And Avery Orm has played a ton and wants to play, going forward. And she's done really well for us as a freshman. But then girls like Allie Shores, Reese Hudson, those girls play all the time also. They love basketball. They love competing. And I think that shows out on the floor. I mean, you saw it in our last game against Sydney where Allie Shores is on the bench just...
I don't think I've ever seen someone that fired up on the bench.
Yeah,
like that.
She wants to be successful. She wants our team to be successful, and that's a big difference. We have those girls that it's in them. It's in their blood. They want to do well. They want to, not just play. They want to perform well, and we want us to be successful. And so that's a different attitude, and it's coming from the sophomores, and it's coming from the freshmen. And they're getting a lot of playing time. And, yeah, we have a couple other older girls, and some of them are seeing some time. But, the meat and potatoes of the program are in our sophomore and freshman class, and we're working on building it up from there.
How about taking me through your coaching philosophy in a little bit here, the style? Because we're seeing, obviously, with some of these younger girls, it almost seems like you're able to play more of the style of basketball. You want up-tempo. You want to push the pace a little bit. You have the girls that can run the floor. Do these girls kind of fit into the style that you want to run and vice versa? Are these the right girls to run maybe a more, I guess, experienced or a more in-depth kind of offense and defense?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just touching the surface of that kind of offense and defense. We're just getting going here on things. There's more that we can do and probably will do. But, yeah, I mean, these girls want to run the floor. And you've seen it probably just by watching the games. They get out and go. That's what we want to do, get the rebound and go, not slow it up and look. This is a get out and go, try to score. If you don't have it, set it up, then run some offense. But don't just slow it up the floor and see what you can get. When you can get easy buckets, we want to take easy buckets. And we got girls that can go to the hoop. We got a girl like Reese Hudson, which we saw last game, that we can go to the hoop and kick it out to her for a three. Mm-hmm. So she's dangerous out there, so it gives us a little leeway there. But we've been working really hard on some man-to-man pressure defense, playing it really good and not just trying to be. We've been a zone team a lot before because we just have the capabilities of having 5 people on the floor at the same time that could play really good defense, and we're getting there. So this year's team plays good D. We pressed a little bit more, and we're still working on that. And, yeah, we're running and getting out and opening up, spreading the floor out on offense and letting kids get to the hoop.
A couple of girls I want to ask you about, Avery Orm and Allie Shores, because, I mean, they're kind of the engine. They're going to be the cohorts for the next couple of years. But Avery, just a freshman, I saw her in volleyball, and it was extremely impressive. Now seeing her on the hardwood, I mean, she moves differently. Not often do you see a missed shot in girls basketball, and she's going up for the rebound, jumping up and putting the shot back up like a guy, like shooting it off of 2 feet, the bounce that she has. Talk to me about maybe what makes her different a little bit, because she seems like an athlete that doesn't come around very often.
Yeah, we've seen her playing. I mean, I remember watching her when she was in 5th grade playing, and, she just was a lot shorter then, just a little Spitfire point guard, and now she's grown. She's done a lot of gymnastics, so that's why she's stronger. She looks stronger than a lot of kids. So this is the first year she's probably not doing gymnastics because she wants to concentrate on basketball. But she's a strong girl. Her jumping ability, you saw it in volleyball. Probably why she got moved up into there and played a lot of volleyball. But she's just a really good athlete, really coordinated. Her body functions well together. You can see it as she goes. She's probably one of our fastest players on the team. She gets out and goes. She can dribble it. The Sydney game, when she got the ball 4 seconds before the end of the third quarter, dribbled down, hit a floater in the lane at the buzzer. That's what she can do. She's fast. She can handle the ball well. She's probably our best defender. We put her on the other team's best player to help shut them down. So a lot riding on her shoulders for a freshman, but she likes it. She embraces it. The tussle she had with Quinn down in Frenchtown, guarding a girl at 6'3", she took it and said, okay, I'm going to get after that. And she did. And she's just that type of player. She wants to be that type of a player. So she's really led us in that, and it's been fun to see.
And then Allie Shore is another one, another kind of, I don't want to toss around the term generational talent, but again, another just kind of talented player that doesn't come around very often. And she looks well beyond her years. She's a sophomore, but she plays like a senior. She gets you in the appropriate sets. She's always talking. On the bench, she's fired up, but then on the floor, just looks so composed. It's like she plays like she's been there before, a type of thing. Talk to me about Allie Shores. And again, she's just a sophomore. There's still 2 more years after this year with her. But what makes Allie tick?
Well, I think we saw last year as a freshman where she didn't let herself play her game. I don't know if she was, we had seniors that played and started and did a lot. And so she wasn't maybe playing at the top of her game that she could play, but she still gained a lot of confidence and a lot of time playing at that level. But then this summer, we saw something that just clicked in her, and that she was getting rebounds and just going, taking it down the court, looking to score, looking to dish. Just something changed in her, that she just grew more confident over the summer, and she'll say the same thing. And that's just carried over into this year, where she doesn't think anybody can stop her. I think she stops herself sometimes. She should be taking some shots that she probably doesn't take, but she wants to distribute too. And, she leads us in assists, probably leads us in steals, rebounding. She's done it all. And, yeah, that's a player that, man, you just love to have her, because she's a coach's dream, that she will work hard. She'll work hard for you. She'll push her teammates to work hard and wants to be successful. And you couldn't ask for anything more. What's
it like to be a coach? For as long as you have 30-plus years in the game, obviously there's something that keeps you coming back to it, right? And I got to imagine coaching a girl like an Allie, like an Avery, or even back a couple years ago to Bailey Smith, Haley Ells, just throwing out names that I know here. I know there's so many more phenomenal women basketball players at Whitefish, but is that what helps keeps you coming back, is when you get to coach players like that, not just athletes, but those kind of people? Or what is it that keeps you in the game for as long as you have been?
Well, one, I still have a competitive desire. That's just, I want to go out. I want to be a part of it. Other thing out here, I don't hunt, I don't fish, I don't ski. So in the wintertime, basketball is a good release for me. So I'm a city boy, moved to Montana. So, but yeah, I knew these girls were coming up. And that just fires you up as a coach, that you got kids that want to be good basketball players, and you think you can get them in to form a good team and, go out with some success. So, I don't know how many years I got left in me, but these girls and the way they work hard and get after it and inspire each other to play, they inspire me to coach too. So hopefully I will do them justice and do a good job for them.
Talk to me about the community aspect here in Whitefish. What's that been like? Obviously, Whitefish has a great backing, fan and support-wise.
Yeah, you'll hear that when you come into Montana basketball. My wife, like I said, graduating from Whitefish, told me, the stories of back in the day, and, what to expect about, people and community and stuff like that, and smaller towns. And and that's been, when I got hired for the job, that was part of the commitment. What are you going to, for the community and stuff, and being a face of the basketball for the community. And, and that was fine. I wasn't afraid of that. And, I had to learn a little bit more about how to settle into that type of community aspect. But I think the people have been great. The people, the administration, the other teachers and coaches at Whitefish, they've been great and fun to be around and friendly. And it's been a nice thing for me to do. It just making me feel at home right away. And so I've enjoyed that, and I look forward to keeping it going.
I didn't get a chance to ask this last year afterwards, but now's the perfect time, because last year you guys played, it was Libby for senior night, and you hosted the 50th year anniversary team, and that was one of the biggest crowds that Whitefish girls basketball had in a little while. But to be able to host that team, to be able to have those former players kind of share their stories with this group of girls, what was that like?
Well, for me, it was, a learning experience. I mean, and it wasn't my idea. I mean, I saw the 50 years of girls basketball thing going around for the state, and Coach Jenny Krestova, she's the one that really put it all together, sent out the invitations, made a video about it, put all that out there, and it all came together. And, people were excited about it. It was fun to see. It was fun to get to see and know people from the past for me, to meet them, old coaches and players. And so, I was excited about it, and it was fun for everybody. And I was just, history of basketball. It's just a fun thing, especially girls basketball, which, like I said, that's all I've been a part of as being a coach. So for me, it's been an experience really just learning about Montana basketball for the last few years. So, and so that's been fun also.
And then something else I want to touch on, because, sports is a huge aspect of everything that you do and everything. But one thing I saw, I think it was the girls basketball team posting on social media, is your Lady Dogs second annual Give Back event. Take me through what the Give Back event is for, and kind of how that got going.
Well, it's just something that I've always wanted to give back, and stuff, in the holiday things. You always see the Toys for Tots and all that stuff. And, it just never came together. But, I've had some difficulties in my family and stuff going on, even right now. That's been a struggle. It's been a struggle for us, and just something that, it's been hard. And it just made me think and even more about other people that may be struggling and, doing some things differently than probably what's going on with me and my family. But I think just inspired me to see what we could do, and so my assistant coaches really put it all together. Our parents donated money the last 2 years, but we've sponsored a family the last 2 years that otherwise didn't have any means to go out and have a nice Christmas. And we've got money. I mean, it was a great time. We'd split the girls up in groups. They'd go out shopping for one of the family members, buy a bunch of gifts, bring them back to the school. We'd wrap them all up in presents, and they'd get delivered to the family for Christmas. And so we've done 2 years of it. That's been amazing. Great. Yeah. And it's just amazing that the parents would give of money, and that our girls would give of their time and want to do it. Just, makes me feel really good, and our coaches would do it. And so it's been really a bonding experience, too, for the girls, and something I think besides basketball they can look back on and say, hey, we did this, and it was probably one of the best things we ever did in high school. That's
got to be pretty cool when you have a group of girls that also, when you you watch the videos and you see, I mean, they want to do it, right? They want to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's fun for them when they come out, they've really enjoyed it. And, that makes it nice when you can see the girls. They don't feel like they have to be there, and which they don't. But if they're not out of town, most all of them show up and participate. And, and just, I think the real true meaning of the season comes out even in them. They feel warmth and loving and stuff when they get to do something like that too and help out another family in need. So it's been a blessing. It's been really nice for the past 2 years doing it.
All right, last question I got for you, and then I'll let you get out of here. As a coach, you've been doing this for so long, and we're seeing it more and more. players going on to play at the next level, what would be a piece of advice you would give to maybe that junior, that senior, heck, even maybe that sophomore that's getting looks, whether they want to be a player at the next level, whether they want to do something big at the next level? What would be maybe just your biggest piece of advice to that young athlete who wants to maybe carry on and do something at that next level?
Well, one, I've always been an advocate for girls playing multiple sports, just to get their bodies in different, activities and movements. Every sport's different. So just being in certain sports, but then finding the one you love and putting more time into that. It's hard to give to every sport you want to play. Of course, myself included, all coaches want people to come out and, do in the summer and what they can. But I think you got to focus on the sport you love while you're playing other sports, and put some time into it, but also not burn yourself out. Don't overdo it so you burn yourself out on one sport, but put enough into it that you can get better. And that's not always just going practicing with the team and playing games. It's if you really want to play at the next level, you got to get in the gym and work on individual skills and things like that, because that's what's really going to improve your game, taking that into the next level of play. So that's the advice I would give to girls. Find some time to carve out for that, but don't miss out on your school time. Be a high school kid, enjoy your family, but then, do that also.
Perfect, Coach. I think that's all I got for you. Thanks for coming on. Thank you for sharing your journey. And, hopefully here's to more years at Whitefish basketball, and here's to hopefully a state appearance here in the next, if not this year, the next couple of years.
I will take that, Cole. Thanks for having me on.